Well, we're so glad that you're here with us to just consider what it means to live life on mission. And thank you, Diane, for preaching today. Such a great message. Immediately when you started off, you started talking about this desire that you had to do mission work in India. And it made me kind of laugh because I remember there was this guy, Josh Hoosman, and he was talking to me about starting a church. And he told me where, and I misheard him. I thought he said India.
Oh.
And so I told my wife, I was like, I think I really want to, I feel called to this, like to go where he goes, because I loved him as a teacher. And then I called him up and I said, Josh, dude, I'm with you. Wherever you go, I'm with you. I want to go to India with you. And he's like, no, I didn't say India. I said Indiana.
Big difference.
And immediately I thought, I don't care about people in Indiana. Like,
it's way more glamorous to go overseas.
It's way more glamorous to go to India than it is to Indiana.
It takes a lot more faith.
Which, I don't know, it kind of messed with me because immediately I told him, yeah, no, I'm good on that. Like, cool that you started a church there, but
I have family in Indiana. Yeah. It's okay.
Okay. And so this idea of like mission, what it means to go on mission, what we connect it to, you know, generally, like you're saying, it's like these places that we would say are impoverished, but you expanded our idea even of poverty, how it applies to so many things. And so your message just has me thinking, one, I want to live life on mission, but I do realize that there's moments in my life where like that isn't the focus. And so for many of us, we're wondering, okay, what replaces the idea of living on mission in the way that Jesus describes it? Like, what steals sort of that purpose? What would you say to that?
That's such a good question. I definitely think it's multifaceted. I think each person comes with their own set of desires and goals and different personality types, and so I think there's lots of things that can distract us from that mission of waking up every morning and being like, okay, how can I be used today? But I would definitely say, I mean, in North America, I mean, consumerism, individualism, those are two pretty big things. Materialism are two pretty big things that, you know, we're inundated with, and we're kind of swimming in that water. And so it's really easy to not even realize that we've gone off mission because, you know, we had to take out a second loan to pay for the boat, and we had to do all these things, and like you see a need and you're like, you want to respond because your heart is breaking, but you all of a sudden have all of your assets tied up in things, or and so I think that that's something that as North American Christians is really a hindrance and something that we really have to check a lot. I mean, I am definitely preaching to myself in that moment. I just remember, I think off camera we were talking about this, when I first met Jesus, I used to wake up every morning with this excitement to serve him. And it wasn't like, oh, I have to be on mission. It was like, I get to be on mission. And because it was so addicting to see people experience love and to see people know their value and worth, and to get time to spend with somebody so that they felt known. And that was my mission. You know, it wasn't just preaching about Jesus, it was connecting with people. And then over time, I've just seen how that has, like, you know, slowed down, and that passion has slowed down, and I don't wake up with that same like exuberance every day. And so, I do think that even as we mature as Christians, you know, our mission changes, our passion changes, it matures, you know, but
So it used to be really like novel for you early on. Whereas there's so many people that you could affect that you've found out who Jesus was, and that really like impacted your heart and your life. And you mentioned these distractions, and so what are things that are helpful when you wake up now, today, being a Christ follower for a long period of time that you have? Like, how do you remind yourself that you're living on mission in your daily life?
Oh, man. Well, for me, a lot of times it means that I have to slow down. So something that my husband Clint and I, we get to serve together at the Brentwood campus. I stole this from him, but it's really helped me recently. And it has been be present. And so I kind of share that to myself in moments when I'm feeling really anxious, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm looking at the list of things I have to get done that day or that week. And so we have a couple really cool things happening this month, and so I keep looking ahead for those things, but I keep missing what's happening in front of me because I'm so focused on what's coming up. And
so you can miss the mission for today because you have a view of,
exactly,
like we all do, we have things coming up, but you're teaching yourself to be present.
Yeah, be present, keep it small. Again, one of the things that I really wanted to share in this message was that mission doesn't have to be glamorous. Mission doesn't have to be moving to India. Mission is
or Indiana.
Or Indiana, you know. But mission can be, it's those day-to-days. It's the in your neighborhood, it's with your family, it's with somebody at the grocery store, it's, you know, when you're pumping gas. I mean, there is so much opportunity to be sensitive to like, okay, how can I just smile at someone? How can I show the love of Jesus right now? And how can I be present in this moment? So that's helped me.
That's awesome. And you mentioned also in your message this idea of mission being a communal thing. You use the word like our. And you and Clint, you pastor, you lead the Brentwood community.
Yeah.
What's been exciting about leading that community towards this missional living for you?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, so many things. What first comes to mind though is that after the pandemic, our church shrank significantly. So we started working there in 2019 and had close to 1,000 people. And then, you know, we're a smaller community now. And so with that, that means that a lot of the resources that we used to be able to provide as a church, we don't have anymore. We used to have a team of 14, now we have a team of 4. And each of us are wearing different hats all the time. And so we're really maxed out to our capacity. And so when we first came back after the pandemic, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to get our programs back. We have to start doing things because there's needs, right? And it was so beautiful, like witnessing this community of believers being like, no, we got you. And like, you guys don't have to do everything. Like, we want to meet the needs. And so like, call me, let me know. And they're just rising to the occasion of caring for people around us. So like, all the things we used to do, they're still happening, but they're happening through our congregation. They're happening through the community, naturally and organically. And one of the things we've been saying is, you know, if God doesn't provide, we don't push. So anyway, it's been really beautiful seeing this small group of believers take initiative in their faith, and together we know that, you know, we're stronger and they have a part to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, we're doing this together, and we're grateful for what you've taught us through this message, this teaching. You're not going to think of these two words, on mission, the same. So we're grateful for that. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.